Alright guys, this video is on solutions, solutes, and solvents. So let's jump right in here. Not waste any more time. Pretty short video. Um, okay, so some questions, and we'll see these questions again at the end of the video. Homogeneous mixture of two or more substances, what do we call that? What is the substance that does the dissolving? Which type of bond most likely to occur between two nonmetals? So we do go over some ionic and covalent bond concepts. What is the difference between hydrophilic and hydrophobic? And it looks like the last question got cut off. All isotopes of a given element have the same number of blank in each atom. That's the question. Okay. So in chemistry, a solution is defined as a homogeneous mixture of two or more substances, right? And so that was our first question, I believe. Two or more substances, right, is called what? And we just said it was a solution. The solvent is the substance that is present in the largest amount and is referred to as the substance that does the dissolving. Again, there's question 2. What is the substance that does the dissolving? Second question, solvent. And then finally, solute is the substance or substance dissolved in the solvent. There can be multiple solutes, and they don't have to be solids. Okay, so being able to just basically differentiate solution, solvent, solute, that's really the most likely question that you're going to face. But also ionic and covalent bonds, those are also pretty common. So let's go over those. Ionic bond, it's an attraction between two atoms due to one transferring an electron or several electrons to the other. Ionic bonds are a chemical bond formed between two ions with opposite charges. Ionic bonds form when one atom gives up one or more electrons to another atom. These bonds can form between a pair of atoms or between molecules and are the type of bond found in salts. You can recognize ionic compounds because they consist of a metal bonded to a nonmetal. So again, metal to nonmetal, that's ionic. As opposed to covalent bonds involve sharing electrons, and metallic bonds involve attraction due to free electrons that aren't held by any particular atom. Covalent bonds happen between two nonmetal atoms, worth repeating there, two nonmetal atoms, then we have covalent. Since nonmetal atoms have mostly full shells and benefit from sharing electrons. If two atoms each share an electron equally, the bond is covalent. Many organic compounds, such as carbohydrates, result from covalent bonding. Polarity could also be questioned on the test. Polarity is a condition caused by static electrical charges on molecules which attract each other. Usually these charges attract water, but this is only because they allow water to form hydrogen bonds with a substance. If a substance was created that stopped hydrogen bonding, it would be hydrophobic. Thus, a molecule could be both hydrophobic and polar. Not quite yet. If the electronegative difference between two atoms is small, the atoms will form a polar covalent bond. In a polar covalent molecule, the atoms are held together because valence electrons are shared between them. And in a nonpolar covalent molecule, the valence electrons are shared equally and there are no partial changes on the molecule. If the difference is large, the atoms will form an ionic bond. If there is no electronegativity at all, a nonpolar covalent bond is formed. All right. And now hydrophilic versus hydrophobic. Again, this was one of our questions. What was the difference between the two? If it can be dissolved into the bloodstream, that's hydrophilic. Molecules that need special proteins or transport vesicles to be carried in the blood are usually hydrophobic. And then finally, isotopes. Isotopes are variants of a particular chemical element that differ in neutron number. All isotopes of a given element have the same number of protons in each atom, as you can see on the screen. The meaning behind the name is that different isotopes of a single element occupy the same position on the periodic table. Okay, and with that, we jump back into our questions. So this is a great time to test yourself out. Hit the pause button, see if you can answer these questions. We just went over all of this stuff. And if you have forgotten it, it's important to go back and make sure you have the answers to this stuff locked in your mind, because all these are very common concepts that you will be tested on.